We move into the other matches and see what we'll be able to talk about it. Arsenal dropping points at the Emirates Stadium, and also Man City going to the London Stadium to pick 3 points. You know, the guy can't stop scoring. The robot, I call him. Hat trick yesterday, 2 hat tricks. Is it 2 hat tricks this season already? And he has scored 7 goals and is ready to take this season by storm. Sorry?
2 back-to-back hat-tricks, like back-to-back consecutively. Weekend and
back-to-back hat-tricks. Yeah, back-to-back hat-trick. And luckily for me, I captained him in my FPL, and I think he's going to give me a lot of points. But let's talk about the game that happened at the Emirates. Arsenal 1-1 against Brighton. It was a game Arsenal should have taken 3 points, with all due respect to Brighton. But that incident that happened at the 49th minute is what I want us to start with. Daniel, is that worthy of a red card? Is that worthy of a second yellow? The incident that happened between Rice and the Brighton player, and the referee issuing the second yellow card, which led to a red card. Is that worthy of a sent-off for Rice?
Sent-off. Nah, it's not. It's not at all, to be honest. I understand the letter of the rule or letter of the law, something, letter of the... Just disgusting refereeing yesterday. If you started watching the game from the first minute, you would have seen this kind of agenda, we as Arsenal fans always believe in the agenda, really. Because for a second yellow, if you remember the match against Man City at the Emirates, the Kovacic incident, no yellow card was given. The idea was we don't want to disrupt the game or kill the game. Yesterday, I could understand the Rice first yellow, but the second one, the ball was still in motion. And Veltman knew what he was doing. And Rice fell for it, to be honest. But given the context as well, the João Pedro incident of the first half, where he blasted the ball away, that was the blast. Rice own was more like a notch, just giving the ball a little bit of movement, to be honest. But it was so frustrating, given that the area where the foul, quote-unquote foul, occurred was nowhere close to their goalpost or nowhere close to the Arsenal goalpost, or where nothing will have happened really from that angle, corner flag common of the opposition. So I think it was horrible, because most of the time, for referees, one thing I tell them is common sense. Use common sense. For that instance, I think common sense was not applied. Because, yesterday, that thing spoiled the game. It let us start pursuing the game, come on. It was just so annoying. I we're in a title race with City, with this robot up front, and we are dropping points that way. Nah, that's appalling. Tornado. I know Chamaka has a lot to say.
What's your take on that incident that happened?
Absolutely bizarre, but this is why the EPL is the EPL. I'm sure Chimalaka will agree with me. I can't count the number of episodes we've had on Footy with where we're discussing ridiculous refereeing decisions. The inconsistency absolutely reeks for me. This weekend alone, I can list about 8 players: Kulusevski, Magehi, Cucurella, Pedro Polo, Joelinton was on a yellow card. Cole Palmer was on a yellow card. Bruno Guimaraes was on a yellow card. Diego Dallo, they were all on yellow cards, right? And they kicked the ball or threw the ball when the opposition was about to restart the game. And then it's only when someone is wearing an Arsenal jersey that is a problem. And I have to be more specific. Chris Kavanagh, for me, is the problem. I can speak about 4 Arsenal games where Chris Kavanagh makes the most bizarre decisions that... Honestly, for the I don't know, man. I'm lost for words. It's ridiculous. But aside from that, it was a stupid decision. Officiating should have been better. However, let's talk about the fact that Arsenal still need a striker, which is just the truth for me. Yeah, 2 seasons ago it was all well and good. Arsenal scored 88 goals in the Premier League. The goals were basically,
did you read my notes? Did you read my notes? Because that was where I was going to after this incident.
Yeah, but so like I was saying, 2 seasons ago, Arsenal scored 88 goals in the Premier League. The goals being shared between Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and Martin Odegaard. Yeah, that's good. But at the end of the day, I think if anything we've learned from Premier League football in the last 2 seasons is the fact that you now need an out-and-out striker. Look at Aston Villa. They've got Ollie Watkins. Look at Bournemouth last season; they had Dominic Solanke. Look, but to be more precise, look at the champions. They've had Erling Haaland for the last 2 seasons. That Winter Soldier just scored back-to-back hat tricks for in 2 consecutive game weeks. I mean, it's not normal, but let's focus on the point, which is the fact that you need an out and out striker. You need a clinical striker. Kai Havertz is not a clinical striker, neither is he an out and out striker. And I would like to think that Edu and Arteta are not going to be deluded. I mean, they to me, they showed me that they went over their delusion, transitioning Havertz from a midfielder to a striker. I think both of them agreed that, you know what, we made a mistake putting him at LCM. It wasn't going to work out. That's why we signed Merino, in my own opinion, because they know that, look, Havertz wasn't cutting it out there. But then again, I think they need to go to the market in January and get an out-and-out striker. Get me Victor Gyökeres. Get me Alexander Isak, for crying out loud. Arsenal need an out-and-out striker. Arsenal never have issues creating chances. We create chances from nothing. Long balls from Raya, long balls from Gabriel or Saliba does the magic. Even Ben White sometimes with the long balls. Obviously, cooking up from the likes of Odegaard and Saka, cooking from the likes of Trossard and Martinelli, it works. But the problem with Jesus and Havertz is that, number one, for Jesus, he doesn't like to stay in the box. He'll come to right back to start a build-up play. And unlike Havertz, he will not get into the box and ready to finish. Havertz is lucky because, he's got the lungs, number one, and then he has that aerial threat. But sometimes with the ball at his feet, Havertz can be absolutely horrendous. I'm glad that he's got a bit of confidence right now. He's scoring goals. He's got 2 goals in 3 games. Good for him. But I think at the end of the day, if you want to win the league, I don't think you're going to have Kai Havertz as your top 9. So Arsenal need to get a striker if they want to win the league.
Chimamaka, staying on the issue of the red card incidents, because I saw you disagreeing with what Daniel was saying earlier. What's your take? Do you think it was worthy of a second yellow, or do you think the referee should have at least, cautioned him? Because looking at the technicalities of what happened, yes, go by the book or go by the law, the letter of the law. You issue a second yellow card for whoever wants to prevent, a free kick from being taken. And also, if you also look at the law, if you're about to take a free kick, if the ball is not stable, you are meant to retake the free kick. And what we saw yesterday was the ball wasn't stable. The ball was still moving when Veltman tried to boot the ball. And yes, I'm not going to deny that fact. Rice subtly kicked the ball, which deflected the motion of the ball. And Veltman went ahead to boot Rice by his leg. And also, because I see a bit of inconsistency here. And also, there's something that says as the letter of the spirit or the spirit of something. I think I saw it somewhere. That at least you look at the situation of the game. And Howard Webb, quoting him, is saying last season that before you can issue a second yellow, the offense committed has to be that grievous to the extent where you had no choice, or the official had no choice of issuing the second yellow card. Today, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, the Crystal Palace player that was on a second yellow, on yellow, tackled Palmer when Palmer was in an attacking position to release a pass in front of the box 16, which could have led into a yellow card, but we didn't see the yellow card. But let me hear you out. What's your take on the incident that happened? Do you think it was a red card?
Well,
or yellow card? Sorry, that led to a red card.
What actually made me chuckle was the fact that Daniel said that there was an agenda against Arsenal, and I'm like, an agenda, really? Are you guys forgetting that there's a certain tailor of a referee that is very good at sending Chelsea to the mortuary anytime he's officiating that game? So I believe, well, jokes aside now, the due due to the fact that there are rules that have been stated and are supposed to be followed, I feel that many a times it should be at the discretion of the referee. In my opinion, such incidents should have been let slide, in my own opinion. Because let's be frank with ourselves. We watch how many matches this between Saturday and Sunday, and that same incident happened more than 5 times, and we didn't see any second yellow for such offenses. So if any Arsenal fan, I know I'm a Chelsea fan. Arsenal fans will be happy. I'm talking in support of
So
their
so that so
own.
that means
Yeah.
that means Daniel is right. Daniel is right to say there's an agenda. Chumawaka,
Well,
Daniel is
if
right to say
if
there's
that's
an agenda.
if that's the way he sees it, if that's the way he sees it or he feels it is, then
Yeah.
so be it. But in my opinion, I feel that this incident was not weighty enough to be deserving of his second yellow. That is my opinion. I can remember in Chelsea's match, again the Chelsea game, Cucurella did the same thing. Ogba stated how many players that did it. So I watched the same thing happen. So I feel it's at the discretion of the referee to take the actions. So this guy being the man who has been sent from outer space to come and be the one who is supposed to be the agenda for us now, carrying out his mission, bro, who am I to stop him? But well, if the red card has come, it has come. In my opinion, I said it's not supposed to be a second yellow. But since the red card, beautiful, amazing. But what else? You should have let it slide. Truthfully, let's leave the stiffness of the rules. Sometimes let football be football. These little things. If this happens, that's happened this week. Well, let's say it happened 5 good times this same week in different games. It becomes boring. It becomes too boring. Let's be frank with ourselves. So yeah, well, that's it though.
Yeah, so something similar happened last season for us now. I don't know if you used to remember against Crystal Palace, the Tomiyasu red card, second yellow, at Selhurst Park, where the
Yep.
slight nudge,
The tackle against
all of
Ayu.
the yeah,
Yeah, slight nudge and Ayu. Yeah.
it happens every time to us now, and Chelsea fans will not understand. United fans will never understand. But really, it feels like there's an agenda against Wolves. The Moslara guy or something of Wolves that held Havertz to the neck. No card was given. The Saka tackle, one from Mitoma, no foul was given, no card was given in the first half. And it feels like all of a sudden there's an agenda against Arsenal because every season we have at least 4 or 5 of these clear incidents that we have to trash out with the FA, which is not nice. The PG MOL.
But
So
if you're talking about agenda, bro, can you remember Chelsea against Arsenal? Alexis Sanchez using his hand to win the ball and scoring the goal in FA Cup finals and winning. Should I remind you of the foul again against Chelsea? If you keep mentioning all these things, bro, the agenda would not stop. Let's be frank with each other. Now you are talking about these little second yellow card offenses. How about the ones that actually cost you winning a trophy? You've not said anything like that. You're just talking about the yellow cards, yellow cards. Truthfully, it can be painful to be a fan and see such kind of things happen. It can be so painful. You are feeling it this way because you can point out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games that has happened against Arsenal, and you will tell me it's an agenda. In Chelsea's case, I will tell you there was foul here, there was foul here, there was handball here, there was bro. That is my own pill too to also swallow. So as it stands, what Premier League referees cannot do, I think it does not exist because as it stands, they can do and undo. I
exactly.
thought I don't know if if you remember one podcast one episode we had talking about the refereeing in England. I won't lie to you, it's one of the worst. We have one of the worst set of referees in professional football in England,
I
and
agree.
that's the truth. And that's the truth. But the question you ask is how do we stop such kind of things? How can all these dirty offenses, things that shouldn't be addressed? And if you ask me as a fan, I will tell you, let many of these guys go. Let them go. That's the truth. Let them go. Let's bring fresh heads that you know, bro. See, let's not get into this refereeing thing because it's one of the parts of EPO that pisses me off big time.
Let me
Yeah, no.
just say that in the EPL, whenever managers or players seem to make offenses, they are either fined or they are banned for a certain number of games. I think that needs to start applying to the referees as well.
Actually, that
Clubs, when clubs want to sanction their players, sometimes They might even take away like 1 or 2 weeks of wages. I think if referees go through this as well, I think they'll begin to officiate. Um, okay, the word is not diplomatically, but at least they will start officiating in a more neutral manner. Number one,
Okay,
and,
okay,
and
sorry to cut you. Sorry to cut you. Ace, please, what Okpe just said, I would love it to be our heading so that we are going to send this to EPL themselves on their preview, on their Monday night football. Let them see it and act upon it, because the truth is the referees also they need to be sanctioned. When you take out a week wages from them, they understand what it is. It cannot just be players, it cannot just be managers. Referees too should also be held responsible for stupid errors that they make. They're also part of the football. You cannot take it away from them. They come and create rules that you cannot abide by. At the same time, they will come and cause problems on the pitch. At the end of the whole day, if a player comes and talks, he's going to be fined 2 weeks' wages. Either his club finds him or the EPL finds him. What happens to the referees? What happens to the referees? If they take out their wages for 2 weeks, Anthony Taylor will sit up.
Yeah.
That's the truth. They will sit up. Who wants to lose their weekly wage? No one wants to do that. But if they are sanctioned, my brother, football will sit up in England. You can mark my words.
Yeah. So
I
I
think
think that happens
Chris
already.
Sorry, Daniel. Chris Kavanagh just wanted to turn to be the man of the match in that game yesterday, in my own opinion, because I feel there are ways you intermeddle into issues. I was trying to look for that thing, letter of the spirit or the spirit of the law. I don't know why I'm finding. I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it. Whereby the official is not meant to take that drastic action. You just have to review the issue, review the incident. At least I see where a player is on a yellow card, and before the player gets the second yellow, that player is being 3, maybe the third time, until the third time before the player gets penalized for the second yellow. But I didn't see that yesterday. I agree, you could say it went by the book, but it should have been. It really spoiled the game, unbalanced the game. With all due respect to Brighton, and I think Brighton should have won that game, but they didn't just take the chances. And Arsenal did well. Credit to Arsenal having to return to a. I think if that ball has been defended properly, and we need to look at the individual errors too, because Gabriel made an howler yesterday in the build-up to that goal. If Gabriel has tackled Minte, or Minta, whatever his name is, if he had tackled that ball very well, I don't think there was any other. He couldn't have had that shot. Fine, he had the shot. Gabriel didn't tackle. Also, Partey didn't close down his man, because if Partey had gone full total in defending Pedro wouldn't have hit that rebound in. So there were individual errors, despite the howler from the referee. There were individual errors from the Arsenal players themselves. And I think Arteta did well in trying to recover, restructure, go cohesive, more cohesive at the back. And Arsenal had chances. There was a ball Odegaard had. A pass to Calafiori. It was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. It took a lot of time dressing the ball. Havertz, pointing back to what Okwe said, if Arsenal had a clinical finisher in the ilk of the Robert in Man City, I don't want for his name, that game would have been 2-1. So I think Arsenal also needs to, fix up some errors. Daniel, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that actually there are fines for referees. Actually, I don't know if you remember, but last season, Anthony Taylor was demoted for a game in the Premier League where he had to officiate in the Championship. So I think they are, but it's not enough.
So the question is, why does the Championship side have to suffer for a referee's incompetence? Why would you have to send him to the Championship? Why would you have to send him there to go
out his pay and let him go and blow in League One or Division 1? When you take out his pay, he will sit up. He went to go and hold on. What was the offense? The offense, the punishment for his offense was to go and blow, to go and ref in the Championship and still get paid the same amount he's going to be earning in the Premier League. Who is fooling who, bro? Who is fooling who? They should, when they send him to go and blow in the Championship, They should slash his fee to the amount of referees what they are earning in championship. He should collect the same thing with them, or instead they should take out his entire week fee. Then he will sit up. They need, truthfully, these guys also need canes too on their backs, because I realize the FA just covers every single thing that has to do with the errors by the referees. They are good at protecting the referees but truthfully, how long will you keep doing this? At some point, you force the fans to do what they don't want to do. I don't want to talk about the Ovribo incident. Chelsea backer. Up till today, the man has retired from refereeing, but up till tomorrow, he's still being haunted by football fans. Is it until it gets to such level?
Unfortunately for Rice, I think Premier League has released a statement that he would have to be banned for the next game, which is the North London derby, and you just have to get punished. Yeah. Yes. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I didn't see us looking at it. I really didn't envisage us having a conversation about poor officiating third week of the EPL. I think this season is even good because as a last season, okay, if you remember, first week into the EPL or the second week of the EPL, we were complaining of officiating. This time around, they just shifted it to like third week for us. And there's no need to talk. Okay, there's no need to talk about Man City. I think Man City, 9 points. Man City look primed to go for the 5th title in a row, in my own opinion, and it's left for Arsenal to double their effort. But let's talk about Chelsea, just to round off this episode. Let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea were scintillating last weekend, defeating Wolves 6-2, and they lost against Soviet. Someone calls it Soviet that used to clean hands. That's a joke, by the way. In the Europa Conference League. And also moving on today, they drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace. So, Chimamaka, are you the Chelsea fan? Are you worried as a Chelsea fan, looking at the oscillating performances, hot today, cold tomorrow, and looking at that game? Crystal Palace possibly could have nicked a win if they took their chances. Nicholas Jackson had chances as well at the dying embers of the game to have nicked it 2-1. Same issue we're talking about Arsenal. Sign a striker that can take chances, finish dinner. Chelsea went ahead, signing in wingers, signing midfielders, but failed to sign a striker. So, is it time to be worried as a Chelsea fan, Chimamaka?
Well, is it time to be worried? Bro, I've been worried since last season. In fact, I'm still worried. If I'm worried for next week now. So, I know what it is like, what it feels like. We also Jackson last season. Yeah, he scored 13 goals, 13 EPL goals, or is it 13 or 14 EPL goals? Good. But he would have had 25 or 26, if not 30, if he took his chances. So the hot and cold thing about Chelsea, I don't want to start hitting Maresca on the head for now, because in the Conference League, he used an entirely different 11. So I want to see that as an excuse. I want to create that as an excuse for him. So I feel he's still trying to balance or pick his first 11 that would work with him. Because today it was 9 different changes. 9 different changes. So we know what it is like to be a manager who is coming in new, has so much numbers to deal with and the likes. But it's no excuse for him. He's being paid for it. So he has no excuse. As a Chelsea fan, all I want is results. You cannot tell me that you are playing 39 players and you cannot give me results. Bro, I will come for your head. So Chelsea blowing hot and cold. I think in the last game, not the 7th game, the previous EPL game against Wolves, they had to wake up in the second half, but I didn't see that in this game against Crystal Palace. It was a shaky game. There was imbalance everywhere. Our strike force, for God's sake, have problems. I don't want to start going deep. It is Chelsea. It is normal headache that I'm used to. So I think I will have to manage this headache till they start getting their form. But for now, I can't even say much about them. For the fact I'm even still watching it, I'm surprised I still watch Chelsea football matches. I'm very surprised, truthfully, because that is where they pushed me to. So I can't say so much about. I I think Arsenal fans will be best to analyze anything Chelsea, because what I would say about Chelsea is, of course, I'll pause them.
Funny enough, for me, I actually
Your take on Chelsea, yeah.
I actually enjoy watching Chelsea under Enzo Maresca. I think for me, the only problem is a clinical striker as well. With all due respect to Jackson, yes, he got a goal today. He got a goal yesterday. And I said yesterday, probably last weekend. But I still think that Chelsea getting Victor Osimhen would have been fantastic for them. It would have been a game changer. I think that would have been the final piece to the puzzle, in my own opinion. One more thing is the fact that I don't seem to wrap my head around this. Wesley Fofana getting game time over Tosin Adarabioyo. I think that's something that still has to change. But Enzo seems to be someone who is quite stuck in his ways. He has his first team and his second team. So for him, he's got his team A centre back pairing in Fofana and Colwill, and then the team B partnership in Tosin and Badiashile. But I think he has finally seen that Badiashile is not much of a footballer after the the terrible display against Servette, and I could see that by taking a look at the bench. It was Disasi on the bench ahead of Badiashile, and also for Madueke, he needs to be consistent. He needs to be consistent. Yes, the talent is there. Everyone has always known that the talent has been there. I mean, if you were watching this boy in PSV Eindhoven, you will know the talent is there. But one major issue for me has always been consistency. Last week, you scored a hat-trick, or you even scored 4 goals in the space of, 3 days? And then, you come into this game, you have a clear-cut chance on goal. You take a lackadaisical shot on target, and you are not just as, should I say, as clinical as you should be. If you want to keep your place in the first team, you need to churn out these performances week after week. And I think eventually Enzo will find a good balance to this team. I think going forward, don't be surprised when Nkunku is the one that is playing as the number 9. I think Nkunku will be much more clinical in front of goal compared to Jackson. But I do understand that Nkunku is being, taken care of because, he had a lengthy injury spell, and definitely overload of games would not be good for him. So I think Enzo Maresca is doing the right things, but I feel tweaking the centre back pairing and having the proper 9 for me, which is going to be Nkunku compared to all other options. I think if he makes these tweaks, I think Chelsea is a team that should be feared. Like I said earlier, I enjoy the style of play. I enjoy the way chances are being created. So if they have a focal point of attack, and if they have a stronger centre back pairing, I think Chelsea is a team that can challenge for the top 4.
Daniel, your thoughts just to wrap up this episode?
I think Chelsea are going to enjoy this season, to be honest. I'm not really, what I think about them today does not change. What I saw against Wolves was enough. There were combinations of plays, patterns I saw that was like, okay, these guys have something going forward. I'm sure 5-6 games into this season, they will cook, definitely. They will have a very good spell. I'm sure Tiamaka does not believe what I'm saying right now, but I am sure these guys are going to play well. They are attacking talents. Madueke last weekend, I'm going to forget whatever I did today. I mean, he can get in his head, and stuff like that. But they have a good team. I'm sure they will play fantastic this season. They will score goals, loads of goals, with Felix in that team as well, with Neto coming with the speed he has, the football IQ he has. I mean, and Caicedo, I mean, if on his day is very good. And Gusto, I really like Gusto. He's one of my best Chelsea players, to be honest. And I agree with okay, I don't understand why Tosin is on the bench and Fofana is starting, but I'm sure in the coming weeks we should be able to see a change in that department defensively.
Yeah, well, for me, good take. But the thing is, the international break is what really, when a team is in form. Chelsea, to be fair, the first game against Man City, it was a way for them to, get started into the season. I saw a glimpse of what Maresca was trying to build, but Man City was just too far for them to succumb. And Man City has been there for how many seasons now, consistently been there. And also, we saw the game against Wolves. Shaky in the first half, and they came out all gone blazing in the second half, and they took Wolves into pieces. Kimomaka rightly said, against Sevilla, another team was wheeled out. So definitely, when you make that whole sum of changes, it tends to affect the rhythm of the team. And today, we saw also glimpses of what Maresca is trying to build. And the fans is really, really the problem, because will the fans be patient enough? And also the rival fans will be there to cook when it doesn't work. And also international break coming, it puts a dent into whatever each team is trying to build. A lot of teams will try to play politics. We don't want to release their team for their international team, and for them to represent the international team, so that they can start building and working. But kudos to teams that don't have players that will go and represent their international team, so they can still prepare. But it is what it is. Man City, 9 points. Liverpool, 9 points. Followed by Brighton, 7 points. Followed by Arsenal, 7 points. The season is beginning to shape out. 3 games gone, 35 games left for each team. And we'll be here to do the analysis and see who's going to win the APL. But it's good doing this with you guys. Chimamaka, big up to you. Daniel, big up to you. Okpe, big up to you as well. We hope we had the Manchester United guys come in today, but they didn't. But we hope for subsequent episodes they will come and join us. Thank you very much. If you're watching this, please follow us on our socials. Subscribe on our YouTube. We're trying to build this. We're trying to build our channel. We're trying to build our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and also follow us on Instagram and follow us on all our socials. Thank you very much. God bless and stay